Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio. Want to start here? Getting the beverage, doing the stuff. No beverage, a little inspirado. Doodle.
Boom.
Oh, there it is. I'll have to start here. Getting the beverage, doing the stuffs.
A little beveraggio, a little inspirado, you know.
It's bro. Open up the mind.
It's time to expand your horizons. Welcome to Matinee Edition.
Thing for news that you may have heard of, may have not.
Man,
Small banter and shit posting, you know?
actually, I got something we could talk about right off the bat. I messaged you about this earlier in the week, but Oatly finally sent us a message on
That
Instagram.
Was fucking nuts. I was blown away.
I kid you not, hot dogs. That was a highlight of the week. Honestly, I was just randomly trying to get their attention, and it got it a little bit. So we'll actually have to contact whoever's in charge of the Oatly campaigns there.
Papa
Oat, and see if he can squeeze us out some that oat milk.
There you go.
And anyways, I thought that was really cool, man. That's a testament to, like, one, how we continue to keep this thing growing, and two,
Big hot dogs.
how the hot dogs keep listening. So
there you go.
Soon we'll have we'll be boiling hot dogs in oat milk. So
ooh, gross. So, just off the start, I wanted to do Lucas's video game minute. This happens every once in a while. I've been playing.
You're on the clock.
No, the clock starts timer. Now I've been playing Watch Dogs Legion, and it's a game that takes place in near future London, where essentially an operating system has been devised to help run a city, and you play as a member of a anonymous-esque hacking group, hacking your way through the city post this big terrorist attack that was orchestrated by essentially a private militia and a gang in order to dip England back into fascism and impose a fascist regime. And it is so satirical of what we've seen the past 4 years in America.
Really?
It's amazing.
So what do you do? You just go around breaking into shit?
Yeah, breaking into shit and exposing all this fucking malicious war crimes and finding all the politicians that were in on it before. Damn. And I started playing it right after the riots. Damn. And I was like, holy shit, man, this is wild. It was this crazy, weirdly self-referential, sometimes humorous, but really on point for what we were going through. And I feel like I got a shout out. If you have a next gen console, hot dog, Watch Dogs Legion is worth checking out because it's number one, fucking fun.
Nice.
But there's also this weird kind of depth to it.
Cool, man.
So,
and did it come out just
I think a couple months ago.
Okay.
In late November or something. But I didn't get around to it just then. I was playing Assassin's Creed at the time. But that game was fucking fun. Next up, I'm playing I just downloaded it because I have Xbox Game Pass. I just downloaded Jedi Fallen Order from last year. I never played that, and I'm excited.
Either. Dang. Yeah, well,
I'll tell you how it is.
That'll have to be the next minute.
Oh, that'll have to be it. Now on to the actual Matinee Edition.
Oh, man. Well, I like those.
The previews. You know the previews before the previews of the movie, where there's sometimes a video game thing.
Oh yeah.
That's essentially what I'm doing.
I like it, man. My video game repertoire is full of 64 games. I have some Sega games on my iPad now, and I play some I just play old shit. Sega. And I play the random oddball new game, but I like it. I like you. You're plugged in.
Dude, I will say, this is sort of actually big news. We talk about Star Wars quite a bit. EA finally lost the license, the exclusivity to the Star Wars license.
Oh, dang.
So now it's open. Essentially, Star Wars like if anybody can pitch something to Lucasfilm and get the good to go from
Yeah,
Disney. So
fair
like
enough.
immediately Ubisoft, who develops Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, was like, we'll make a Star Wars game with the Assassin's Creed team.
Fair enough, man. I feel
And
like
that already got greenlit.
how long has Ubisoft been around? You figured they were developing like computer games and shit too, right?
Yeah, I want to say at least like late 80s.
Because I like my dad used to play like games on his computer all the time. Things like this, like there's this old game series called Wing Commander, which was like a space like pilot game. Yeah. And he also played like some Star Wars games on there. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing like the Ubisoft. Anyway.
I remember when
I bet people have been champing at the bit to get back at that property.
So Lucasfilm, another fun thing, because it wasn't EA just didn't have the exclusivity for just Star Wars. They had it for any Lucasfilm property.
Okay.
So immediately Bethesda, the guys that run Doom and the Fallout series, announced that they're doing a Indiana Jones game, which is pretty fucking sweet.
That'll be pretty fucking sick. I also heard that there's a potential like another Knights of the Old Republic being developed.
I saw that too. It was sort of like not concrete, but that's pretty sweet. Yeah. Even if it's just like a remaster,
for sure. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I kind of remember. I feel like I've heard that rumor for a while. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's a game that like it was getting. It's still getting regular expansions. It's like 17 years old at this point. Has a super devoted player base.
Yeah, it's beloved by the players.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it falls in that category of like mid 2000s big deal games like WoW originally was.
Wow.
World of Warcraft for those that don't speak Gomer. But no, that's super exciting, and I'm really excited to see what Star Wars like. It's a big universe. You can see really cool shit. While EA had it, all they did was Jedi Fallen Order, 2 Battlefront games, and Rogue Squadron, which is just an absolute waste. Rogue Squadron was good. I played that one.
Yeah,
that was a blast to play through. But like fucking Battlefront, just 2 of them and 1 story game. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's nothing. They had it for like 8 years.
Yeah, bit of a wasted opportunity.
Wah, wah.
Well, oh well.
Let's get into the actual news.
Fair enough, man. Right off the bat, big thing I was just reading about, and you brought it up also.
Okay.
We finally found. It seems like there's finally been a role for Keanu Reeves that's finally been carved out of the Marvel universe.
Or the Segaverse, the Venomverse.
The Venomverse, or
if you will.
Actually, I think I had an article pulled up that referenced it. What was it called? It had a really douchey name, and I wanted to mention it.
The Worlds of Sony Marvel Universe?
No, it's called the Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel Characters.
What? What's the acronym?
Spookium. Sumk.
Oh God.
SUMK or SUMC, excuse me. But
God.
Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel Characters has offered Keanu Reeves, the immortal Keanu Reeves, the role of Kraven the Hunter.
Which is great, right?
It's fucking awesome.
That's a great casting.
Totally. That is like
I doubt it'll ever happen. Just like their fucking Mother Web and Silk.
Oh yeah, Madam Web or whatever.
Yeah, Madam Web.
Yeah. Well, like Madam Web's such a random fucking oddball character.
I know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, Silk makes more sense, and Kraven.
The thing is, like, I don't imagine, including like this, Venom 2 and obviously the like Morbius coming up. I don't believe that those are going to be like exceptional movies.
No,
I think they're going to be perfectly mediocre in what they try to do. But I'm wondering if what Sony's trying to do is basically like, it is like obviously what they're trying to do. They're trying to do like they're the auxiliary characters to Spider-Man, and I think it is kind of an interesting idea, like doing like kind of creating these portraits of these characters themselves, with that all have this central figure in common.
Yeah, but then you have to eventually hit a point where they cross over, right? Or what's the point?
I mean. And that's the thing. Like it's such a gamble because you're really having to like assume that like comic book nerds are really going to turn out for these characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in terms of an audience, and that's kind of tough. Like,
it worked for Venom, but Venom was huge internationally.
Venom arguably like rivals the popular. JK. Okay, I was about to say argues the rival.
I feel like Venom's on the same level as like the Green Goblin. It's a very notable Spider-Man villain.
Well, Venom is like one of the most popular comic book characters. Like that's just straight up.
Yeah,
like,
I guarantee that, or even to somebody that's not familiar with comics, but like I guarantee people that watch the Morbius trailer couldn't
exactly.
Like if the Marvel tag wasn't there at the beginning, who the fuck would know that it was a Marvel project?
They'd just be like, is this the guy that Blade's fighting?
Yeah, I know exactly. It seems like you'd expect it to show up in like fucking Spawn or some shit.
Yeah. But like if you do characters like Kraven right, you could totally pull off a really fun adventure movie, because Kraven's like whole character is centered around like a dude who hunts big game. And and so like if you try to tell perhaps like an origin-esque story of that character, it could be like a fun movie just in general.
You know what I would want to see with Keanu as Kraven? Like you got to pick it up like sort of like John Wick. You got to pick it up deep into the career, you know? Like he's been working for a while, maybe flashback to some moment. And like in the flashback, he's been like a plane crash or some shit, and he's hunting in the forest, and then he's got like the Kraven outfit.
Yeah.
But don't let him run with that for the whole movie. It would look like fucking garbage.
Yeah, it wouldn't look great. But and that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like that's why it's such a gamble, these Sony movies, because it's like you have to create a convincing enough version of this character for the people that actually the people that will want to see, you know, that on screen. And it's such a gamble to me, because even though like it would be cool, if I don't think it's going to be popular, but I you know, I wonder if Keanu was interested in it. There's been for a long time, there like Keanu Reeves has like mentioned that he has thought about being a part of like a Marvel Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But he also, him and Feige, I think, are in agreement that it's kind of passed. So maybe that would be,
I think, I think
a factor here.
Now I'm thinking of it though, it's after this week's episode of WandaVision, it could be fair game, you know, even movies or characters from the Sony verse. I'm just going to keep calling it that.
Yeah.
It might be fair game, but we'll talk about WandaVision in a moment.
Yeah. But
should we do brief Super Bowl stuff?
Brief Super Bowl stuff, because most of the
there wasn't much.
There's been better years for sure.
Yeah,
but the standouts were for sure the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, which we'll talk about in a second.
Sick.
But there's also a really cool M. Night Shyamalan movie coming up called Old that looks kind of creepy. I've not watched the
trailer.
It has the actor that was in Hereditary. He was the kid. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
So he was the kid that got possessed, right?
Okay.
Like he's in this movie, and he like that guy could be. I think he's going to carve out a place for himself in like thriller and horror movies. But I don't know. It looked kind of creepy, looked sinister. But it just reminded me that I also wanted to shout out this show I've been watching on Apple TV called Servant, which is an M. Night Shyamalan show. And I've been realizing as we've watched it, like he really like needed to do that. Like he just needed to make a series. Like his movies sometimes, I feel like his full train of thought was never able to be completed through his movies.
Yeah, I mean, like it was always about building tension and having a big twist.
Exactly. And
like,
so
I feel like that works more in a series.
Yeah, exactly, because he's able to give little bits of that in every episode. And the series itself, Servant, is really fucking good. It's creepy as fuck, and you don't know what's going on like half the time.
Yeah.
Rupert Grint's in it, so that was kind
always
of
a plus for Ron Weasley.
Yeah, it was cool to see. It's cool to see him in other stuff, like, and
it's like you never see him.
Yeah, but it's really sinister, and there's some like creepy body horror stuff that happens in it. So if you get it might get cringy at parts, but suggest checking it out. If you buy an Apple product, you probably get that year of free.
That is true.
Apple TV also.
From Apple, you get a free year of Apple TV, which is probably why their numbers look so great.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I actually need to watch. I need to reset up my Apple TV because I want to watch Ted Lasso, but save that for another day.
Yeah, I saw that on there. I need to check that out.
I've heard it's great. It got a bunch of TV show of the year nominations for 2020.
Nice. But yeah, so in a Shyamalan twist, it looks like he has some good stuff coming for everybody. But
how about F9?
Ooh, F9 had a little teaser, a little
Fast and Furious 9,
little squeezer teaser there.
You saw a frame of John Cena. It was only 30 seconds, and the bulk of it was taken up by what looked like a giant magnet pulling a car through a building.
Yeah, that was a bit nuts. But from things we've seen in other trailers for that movie, it's pretty on course for what we expect.
Some could argue it's a bit tame.
I can't wait to see that movie and see how fucking overboard they go with it. It looks big and it looks so dumb. Like,
which is what you're going for.
We've been family for this whole time, and family's still the most important thing. But if you can go fast enough, nothing else matters.
I love that Helen Mirren's like down with Fast and Furious.
Well, yeah, dude.
In a bunch of interviews, she's like, I love dumb action movies, and I'd been trying to find a action franchise that I could be a part of for a long time. And eventually Fast and Furious started sticking out as an example of great action filmmaking.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that she's involved too. It kind of gives, I don't know. I like the wide array that their ensemble covers. Like they just have like a really great like cast of personalities that
hell yeah
really bleed into those characters. So
dude, I still have
fun.
One fundamental criticism, specifically with Hobbs and Shaw. It should not have been Hobbs and Shaw. It should have been Hobbs and Roman.
Oh shit.
That would be a much more fun dynamic. Come on.
Yeah, but nobody wants to
Roman go, yeah, at some point, and you're set.
And you're good to go. That's the money.
That's all he does.
I know.
He crashes a car, and at some point he's drifting and going, yeah.
Shout out to Tyrese.
Tyrese, my boy Tyrese Gibson.
Oh, Tyrese Gibson, if you're listening.
Loved you in Fast and Furious and Transformers, and I can't really put my finger on anything else.
What else have you done, son?
I don't know.
Anyway, so there was that teaser.
Falcon the Winter Soldier, though.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
MCU shill.
Let's just be honest. That was the highlight, the standout of the
I love the whole that thing. They're in like a couples therapy.
Oh yeah, man. They're really they really brought up that dynamic in this trailer about like how they just don't get along. It's because they're the same type of, well, not the same type, but they're very stubborn personalities.
Yeah, it's like Lethal Weapon, man. That's totally the vibe I'm getting. You know, like Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour. It's like
for sure.
These guys just button heads,
but getting shit done.
Falcon's not old enough to say I'm getting too old for this shit, though.
No,
if he does, I would thoroughly appreciate it, though.
Well, for sure. But yeah, like this, I mean, it looks like, God, dude, I keep thinking about Feige saying that it's like, basically just a movie broken down into 6 episodes. And every time I see something from it, it looks like
good.
It looks cinematic. And like,
it looks like they've been like refining it too since we saw the last big teaser from Falcon and Winter Soldier, because there are a few repeat shots that look better. So
you see a little more of like, well, you hear a little more of Baron Zemo in this and kind of like the intent that he might have. And I'm wondering, I'm not sure.
I think there's going to be multiple villains.
That's why I keep like, I'm not convinced that he's like the main villain. But
do you see in the synopsis, they finally mentioned a U.S. agent.
Interesting. I can't wait to see like,
it said Bucky and Sam like duke it out with Baron Zemo and the U.S. agent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if Zemo has the U.S. agent under mind control.
Who fuck knows it? That'd be wild. The U.S. agent's being played by Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell.
Oh, dang. Respect. Your dad's cool.
Your dad's cool. He falls into the Scott Eastwood category of mediocre actors. But who knows? Who knows? I thought Robert Downey Jr. was mediocre before Iron Man, but I was also 9 years old.
Wait, have you ever seen Chaplin though?
No.
Oh my god, dude, his performance as Charlie Chaplin is fucking.
He was Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, it's legendary, man. It's,
I'll have to watch
yeah.
it. But there's like little details in this. I really do think that they're going in the direction of the U.S. government doesn't want a black man to be Captain America. And they might be dealing with like some racist, like white supremacists at some point. Ooh. Because there is a shot, supposedly, I didn't verify it, but I saw somebody talking about a shot where like Bucky's punching somebody and everyone around him and Sam are wearing monkey masks. And I was just like, whoa, that's like, I do think that they're going to be delving into like American identity in some form. Sure.
And I think that's great because especially because if you're paying any respect to Sam Wilson's run as Captain America in the comics, like, and how powerful that was, it's all about that. And that wouldn't be like, he gives up the shield at one point to Bucky, I think, because of all the racism, and he's struggling to deal with it. Yeah. And so, I think it's a pivotal thing that they can tackle, and I think it's a really it'd be a really good avenue to bring some of that.
It's approachable.
Exactly.
I think there's something to be said. Like you can make an argument for like the Marvel movies not being super deep or having compelling themes, beyond like beat the bad guy. My ideology is better than yours.
I feel like the individual movies. Like the movies about singular characters, or like, not I guess not the ensemble movies, not the Avengers movies necessarily. Yeah.
But when it gets bigger, the themes get bigger as well.
Yeah, but anyway.
But like action movies can sometimes be relatively superficial, and but they are really approachable ways to digest complex themes
for sure
for a wide audience. So I'm intrigued on where this will go. Like we're getting a comic accurate Zemo, which is fucking sick, and I'm excited for that.
And supposedly this might also, I was reading this before, but there's this like little snippet that people caught of like a flag that like an emblem that was shown that kind of leads to people speculating more connectivity to like X-Men in the overall MCU. Yeah. Because they like people have spotted the flag of this like fictional country called Madripoor in the Marvel comics, which is like a huge like mutant haven kind of place. Yeah. Anyway, so and it's interesting because I imagine we're getting some X-Men connectivity based on what we saw recently. So this episode was fucking wild. Yeah, so that was my cool transition of the episode. So
good segue. I want to touch on some of the smaller things first. Her kids are rapidly aging.
Obviously, yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Agnes doesn't seem to be affected by anything going on. Like at this point, to me, she doesn't react to the kids aging, for instance.
Agnes is definitely pulling the strings, but I've been seeing the theory that Ralph, her husband, that's yet to be seen, is Mephisto.
Potentially.
Yeah.
What else?
Which would be sweet.
What else is that like really stand out? This.
Monica Rambeau gets an X-ray, and it's all light, which definitely ties into her powers as Photon in the comics.
Hell yeah.
Which also lends to my theory that the people that got snapped away are coming back with powers. And that could sort of shotgun mutants into the population.
I mean, I think it's got to have something like that's got to be going on, because I directly think that like from that incident of her interacting with Wanda in that way, she is developing her powers now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when we'll probably see that further down the road in Captain Marvel too.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or maybe she's an Inhuman. But
or maybe, just maybe.
Another thing to note, the sequence where Wanda leaves the dome, or the hex as they're calling it for the first time. That number one, fucking tense.
Yes.
And I also realized that's the first action we've had in WandaVision.
Yeah.
There's been no action sequences. And that was just tension. Nothing actually happened.
Yeah.
But it was just a very tense scene that bordered on there being some kind of action.
Yeah. That was fucking wild, man. Because it was just like, you just realize in that one scene the depth to which she has committed to her current path. You know what I mean?
Did you notice her accent came back?
Oh yeah, and I think I think that's purposeful because like
Definitely.
I think one, she caught shit for like they caught the MCU in general caught shit for like her accent going away, and so they
Yeah.
tried to find a way to come bring it back in. And I think like maybe like awakening the idea of her brother, and then like you know like all this stuff. I think is kind of like okay, maybe she's getting back into her original self. You know,
Yeah.
like yeah,
And meanwhile, Vision's putting it all together.
yeah, Vision's putting it all together,
But she's
and
not making it out of this alive, right? Come on.
who Wanda?
Vision.
Oh, Vision.
He's
No,
gonna die.
I mean, arguably, Vision's
Again.
still dead.
Yeah, he's just a walking corpse.
Like because
given
because
agency.
you find out at the beginning of this episode, she breaks in to Sword and steals his corpse, and so body. I mean, just robotic body. Is it a corpse?
I would call it a corpse. He was a living thing, right?
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Which I want to say, props to Paul Bettany. He acted up a fucking storm in that episode.
So check this. I was just rewatching Infinity War, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like the scene, the whole tense scene where Wanda blasts Vision's, Mind Stone. I can remember I was watching it and I kept thinking like a testament to Paul Bettany is that I did not give a shit about Vision in that scene when I first watched that movie. Yeah. I was just like, whatever, dude, Vision's gonna die.
We all knew it was coming.
But like now I was like, oh shit, Vision.
I mean, it's
Cena's character like be more interactive.
Yeah, the scene where he's like yelling at Wanda about like how he doesn't know who he is.
I
was like, shit, man. Like this is like he's going for it. Good on him,
dude. Well, yeah. It's so anyway. I just thought that was cool. But yeah,
we have a few minutes left, so we gotta keep going. The big thing, Quicksilver is alive, but it's the wrong Quicksilver. It's the one from X-Men.
Yeah,
it's Evan Peters.
Evan Peters, yeah.
That was fucking nuts.
that was.
Pretty sure that is the most surprised I've ever been watching a TV show.
There, yeah. I read that Elizabeth Olsen said something about like a Luke Skywalker esque big reveal in an episode of WandaVision, and so I was like, I had something like I was expecting something. I saw Evan Peters' name in there. But I kept wondering how they were going to introduce him, and I was like, "Wait,
you saw his name before?"
Yeah, his name was on the cast listing.
Oh, I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, and so like I was wondering if there's going to be like some sort of like passing cameo or what, but it looks like they're going to be making him some sort of like reoccurring character probably. Yeah. Why waste the talent and all that? But,
so here's what I think they did. I think Wanda wasn't able to resurrect her brother, but rather just plucked a Quicksilver out of some other random reality.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Like they talk about that, right? Like they talk about like, why can't you just bring him back, Mom? Like why can't you resurrect the dog real quick? And she can't or doesn't or whatever. And so that's exactly it. I think she's basically okay. So it ties into the Hex thing. So they're calling her area Hex, which fits into the type of shape that they use to travel in those like through their hyperspace type of jump point system in the galaxy, right? That transmits you through like different dimensional points to get to where you need to go. I think that's what she's created, but in terms of like an interdimensional like potentially like time fucking like
almost like the mirror dimension from Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but that's why I think the Hex shape is there. Is it's like literally like a reference to those jump points that people use for space travel.
Yeah,
and I think that's that like. Yeah, dude. I think that like you're right though.
People have been. I saw somebody mapped out every time the hexagon shows up in a WandaVision episode, and notably there were a bunch in the sword, the head of Sword's office.
Oh, interesting.
So like that's actually I was going to ask a question about him. What do you think his deal is? Is he just the dude that wanted to point all the guns at?
I don't know, man.
I think he's either like the perfect idiot. Just to be antagonistic and derail the audience until there's the actual reveal of who's bad, or he is actually the villain. I lean towards the former.
I honestly don't know. Like I've kind of up until now, I've just kind of been writing him off as like this, like just auxiliary character.
Yeah,
who's just like there to be that like guy that like barks orders and then looks at something dumb
and sort of a jackass,
Yeah, but I
don't know, man. They even
That's
sort of touch on that with like with Ant-Man guy. Why am I forgetting his name?
Scott. Are you talking about Scott? Oh, Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, Jimmy Woo. Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, Jimmy Woo. He brings up like, oh, that's an oversimplification of things.
Yeah.
When it has to do with Wanda, and he's just jumping to it. It very much reminds me of like General Ross, you know?
Yeah.
Like just the bureaucratic asshole that is just doesn't know how to break away from the system and takes everything at face value, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I really, I don't know. I'll have to like pay attention to his character maybe a little bit, or maybe there'll be something coming up. Who knows?
So here's my another thought. You know, where are they going with Pietro after WandaVision? Do you think he's going to stick around after the end of the show? Is he going to become a part of Evan Peters' Quicksilver? Is going to become a part of the MCU proper, or is he going to go back into the ether?
I'll tell you what, man. If they're smart, they'll try and